Hey everyone, welcome to the Roofr Masterclass again. I'm here to joining with you guys, not with Pete as usual, but with our lovely Nathaniel Ward. Nate, can you say hello? We're going to do a quick sound check. We're having some technical difficulties. Anybody? Oh, perfect. Awesome. So, coming at you guys live, as you can see, my normal background's different from when the storm. So we are down in Fort Lauderdale for the Storm Ventures Group One there. So it's going to be an awesome time. Really excited to hear everybody there. If anybody's coming, be sure to come to our booth. We're right by the entrance there. You'll see a big wrap roof exhibit. We're right beside there. So excited to hear all you guys and meet all you guys and girls that are coming by. But in the chat, thanks for coming, and you guys are coming in fast and furious. Just let us know where you guys are from. We got a Louisiana, we got a Utah, and everything, so that's pretty exciting. But Nate, why don't you give a quick little introduction on you, because they definitely have heard of me, and they're probably bored of hearing me from at this point. Fantastic. That's pretty exciting that we can get everything going. I don't know if Nate, you can be heard yet, but we'll play it by ear. If you can't, not a problem. I could reiterate some of the stuff here. So today we're talking about the big news that we released down at IRE last week, that we've got a CRM coming out, which is really exciting. Get everything moving forward towards that. We have always kind of wanted to grow the products here at Roofr, kind of create stuff that you're actually going to use and that it's simplistic and easy to do. And one of those things is we started off with measurements and really got a lot of love from you guys. So thank you very much. And then the natural next progression was going to create that proposal tool that's going to be able to really show the value of your company to the customers as well. And then we hit the instant estimator in. So we have a full cycle from instant estimate to measurement to proposals. And the next obvious transition was just on Nate, that means 4 weeks of winter. Nice one, Drew. The next obvious transition is kind of building something like an end-to-end CRM like you haven't seen before. So a CRM that's going to take you from actual acquisition and marketing of those leads, capturing them, turning them to a customer and job, and all the way out to proposals. So really excited to chat more about that today and get some more information out. We do have a beta that's coming on as well. I see, John, you're excited. So is everybody else. So really excited to go there. Now that you guys can see Nate, let's give it another go. Nate, do you want to do a check 1, 2?
Test, check 1, 2. Roofr's the best. Can you guys hear me?
Anybody hear them there? Waiting for the thing. Yeah, oh yeah, okay, we're good.
Okay, sorry about this.
There we go. No worries, no worries. Okay. So that's fantastic. So Nate, tell me about the world of the importance of data in a growing roofing business today. Like what have you seen in your time at Roofr that really seems to take hold of you to kind of build that out?
Yeah, so we found that a lot of our contractors, like, to talk a little bit about data, we found a lot of our contractors wanted insights into their sales cycle. So that's somewhere where we want to promote and be able to demonstrate a little bit more detail on how contractors are performing in their sales cycle. And specifically the metric that a lot of people are asking for is speed to lead. So we know people want to, as soon that we know their close rates go up, the quicker they contact those clients. So that's something that we want to promote and surface as part of the CRM project, is to be able to visualize to the contractor how quickly they actually contact their clients and be able to show them where they stand with respect to that, to where they stand with respect to that compared to the rest of the roofing world, and how they can improve those metrics. And so that's one of the things that I think like we've heard a lot about and we want to promote, is just like enabling contractors to make decisions about where they should focus in their pipeline, be able to get to contacting clients quickly. So that's one kind of thing that sticks out to me, as like really helping surface data that's meaningful in the sales cycle, and helping contractors improve that sales cycle.
That's super exciting. And data is king nowadays. Like, we really got to make sure that we're on top of that with everybody, with our clients, with our users, with our leads, importantly enough to make sure that not only we know where things are going and how things are going, but kind of the health of our business moving forward. So it's exciting to kind of announce that, yeah, we do have that CRM coming to kind of bridge everything in together. So just to give a quick little agenda for today as well. So we got the meeting Nate part there. We're going to talk more about the importance of data plays and the importance data plays in growing roofing business. We're going to be talking about like what data you need to be collecting and monitoring, and how to use data to make decisions in your business. And with that, we're going to give a nice little sneak peek of what we have going on with our CRM. And then at the end, kind of show you how you can sign up for the beta as well. So not everybody will be selected for the beta. You guys would overwhelm Nate and his team very much, which is good. But we're going to be selecting some few that to give us some good feedback back so we can build something that you guys want to use. So with that, one of the most important things that I hear from roofers, Nate, talking about data is not just like their wins and closes, because that's pretty common data that you're going to look for, but where your leads are coming from, and like what's your best lead source so that you can make real-time decisions. That's something that you've been looking into, right? Did he drop off?
I think we just lost Nate, but fill us in while he reconnects.
Not a problem. Okay, cool. So he's coming back in. So yeah, one of those most important things that we're looking at with some of the data is we're going to be looking at lead sources. And the beauty about Roofr having the instant estimator already, that's really going to be able to tie everything together, is going to be the lead sources to find out where your strongest one is coming from. And not just from your website. The website is an integral part, but also from other sources. One of the most interesting stats I found a while ago was the average buyer, doesn't have to be a roof buyer or anything. The average buyer is using on average 5 different channels to make an informed decision before coming to buy a phone, to buy a car, buying a roof, any of this stuff. So they're not just looking at websites. They're also looking at Instagram, their TikTok, the Facebooks, Google, all that stuff to really tie it in to kind of see that there. And the importance of us as roofers being able to market to all those medians so that we are showing off to them so they could see us and understand that we are the company that they want to work with is very important. So we've seen a lot of you guys really diving into social media, really looking into like different ways of SEO and Instagram ads, Facebook ads, and so on and so forth, so that you're in front of everybody's faces right away. Chris, your referral from your mom does not count, but that is a good start. So I do appreciate that. So one of the things that we really want to do with the instant estimator is, of course, we have the iframe that can go on your website, but because we have a shareable link, you could put it on every single ad out there, every video out there. I talked to a guy in Florida who had a really like grassroots kind of a way of getting leads from his instant estimator by putting a QR code on a business card and saying, do you know how much your roof costs? Find out in 30 seconds. And what he did was he went out to restaurants and just dropped it out on the waiting room tables. So when people are waiting for the tables, they look down, they see that card, they scan it and get some stuff in. And what's important is finding out what one of those lead sources, those 5, those 6, those 10, whatever, how many you're using, is your best lead source. So not only that you can pump more money into it and really kind of replicate that, but you could also make sure that it's done on other lead sources as well. So you could rise everything to the top. And with the CRM and building that out, one of the most important things that we're looking at is, are we able to then track that? Are we able to see what our best lead source is? Are we able to, from there, identify our ideal customer profile? Because without that, we're just throwing money into the wind. and hoping something sticks. And that's one of the big things that we want to do there, and build that out there to see how we can build it out. So the importance of data doesn't just work for close won, close loss, how my team is doing, but it really comes down to like, how is your grassroots marketing doing? How is your website marketing and everything else there as well? So that's one thing that we definitely want to work with on there. Now, the other thing that we really want to do is talking about collecting and monitoring that data. Nate, I see you're back there. Can you hear me? Test 1, 2. I saw your volume bar go up, but no sound coming out. So I'm going to pause right now. Just, you know what? Yell if you hear me. And if if we hear a shriek in the background, I'll stop talking. Awesome. Collecting and monitoring data is really important as well. CRMs are super important to make sure that we have everything lined in, that we don't lose anything through the cracks, but it's also important to collect the data of all the things that you're doing, the measurements, the leads, the proposals, the win, the loss, how long they're spending in certain time spots, stages in your pipeline, and being able to make real-time decisions of it. I'll use an example. When I was roofing, we didn't have that. And we just knew that like our areas, that like our hot spots that were really good for us to sell because of mostly, word of mouth and everything else. But we did really well on Hill Drive, for example. So we knew that surrounding area, it was easy to market to, it was easy to close because the word of mouth really kind of carried. So that stuff is what we used to deal with before. But now we have a lot more technology to our backing, the ability to kind of see where we're going with things and what could be the next step. So not only being able to digitally collect our hotspots so we can see it on a graph, but also understanding the data that we're getting. When we first started Roofr and we first got like a big boy CRM and I saw it, I was just like, what is going on here? There's so much data for me to understand. I don't know where everything's going. So a lot of the things that we're working with is trying to make our data, not only collecting it properly with all the different services that we have, but also displaying it in a way that you can understand. And I'll show you a bit in the sneak peek of the CRM, but we're really going to start looking at like time to close, time to quote, time to completion as like overall metrics. Because as a roofing owner, that's going to be something that's really important to you. You want to see how you're doing and how you can improve. And when I talk to maybe close to 100 roofers a week, I always ask that same question. I go, how long does it take you to get a lead, measure it out, inspect it, and get a quote out? And a lot of people are saying like anywhere from like 3 to 5 days, 5 days to a week or whatever. And the next question always is, do you lose out on jobs because it's taking too long? And they're like, yeah, here and there. So we live in a world that's instant gratification pushing. So we live in a world that people are expecting prime deliveries to be getting back to you right away. And if we are not giving them that same service, trust me, someone else in your market are. So if you're like John West there and dropping them on the spot, that's great. But you want to make sure that it's detailed and gives a lot of information. And from there, you want to know how long, like for using John as an example in the comments, how long does it take for you to grab that one quote and bring it to completion? Because once we can start to see that, once we can start to understand that, and it's plain as day and it's there up front for you and showing you where you are, you could start to make tweaks in your process. Pete and I do a breakout session. So I'm doing a breakout session 2 days from now at Window Storm where I am right now. And the main topic is systems and processes. And the key is you want to make sure that you can be able to write your process down on a piece of paper from start to finish. So take a piece of paper, write down your process, whatever would be in your CRM, and try to see, is it too granular or is it too broad? If it's too granular, you're going to start to micromanage people. If it's too broad, you're going to be missing steps. So the point with having a CRM with us and our idea on building it is to allow you to see the holes in your process, allow you to be able to take your systems to the next level and see where there's things lagging. If I notice that I'm getting quotes out in a really quick amount of time, but my time to close is really long and my time to completion is really long, then I know where to kind of dive into. Maybe my production needs to be kind of tightened up a little bit and I have to create some systems and processes around there. Maybe my follow-up game has to be a little bit better, maybe more direct. Maybe I have some automation, some workflows in there, all that stuff there. Those things are going to be really, really helpful. So when you're thinking about it again, you're looking at, you have your instant estimator bringing in that lead. You're going to be able to reach out to them very, very quickly. And then you're going to be able to use our measurement tool, either DIY or ordering it, to get the reports back either almost instantly if you're DIYing it, or under 3 hours if you're ordering it, and then turning those into proposals. One of the other big stats on there for collecting and monitoring data that you want to look at is how it comes around back to how long does it take you to quote. There's a stat out there that you are 40% more likely to close a job if you're the first person in the door. If you're the first person in the door, that means that everybody is going to be compared to you. So it's not just about being the first person in the door, but it's about having that process and that value prop up front with you guys right away and able to kind of help out with everything. And that's where we're really excited to kind of start to build out. And using this data, you're going to be able to make better decisions with your business. Like I said, if it's taking too long on one side of the process, it's going to give you a real-time view on what systems and processes do we need to tweak to improve. One of the best ones that I've seen work, and one of the things that we're going to be showing through the CRM, through our data dumps and everything, is we're going to be able to show you where we are with time to reach out. Nate, I saw you come back in. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but can you hear me?
Oh my gosh, I can hear you.
All right.
Let's see what the comments say here. Guys, can you hear Nate?
Okay. It's painful.
Oh, trust me, it's more painful for the customers watching because they were listening to me for a little bit. So, but that's awesome. So they could hear you. This is a perfect time because I was talking about using data to make decisions in your business. Mm-hmm. And one of them is with the instant estimator, being able to see time to reach out and time to contact directly after that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we see definitely, I think you mentioned it at the beginning, people want to know where their quality leads are coming from. And as we transition to the new CRM product, that's something we'll be able to surface for you, is to be able to show you what are your top performing lead sources, who are your sales reps who are actually closing those lead sources, and through the instant estimator, being able to actually track, like, how long does it take me to get after one of those leads? And I think, as you mentioned already, we know, like, the first person who contacts the customer is often the person who closes the deal. And the shorter the time that it takes to contact that customer, the more likely you are to close. So those are all things that we want to surface, that we will surface as part of our CRM product. And we're excited to get people's feedback.
Yeah, and you're going to be able to see, like, those the cracks in the armor, right? You're going to be able to see if it's taking too long to reach out, if it's taking too long to quote. And I saw a comment in the thread here talking about, like, if there is how long it's taking to actually get the post drop information. So being able to collect reviews, invoicing, payments, all that stuff is something that we're going to be really helping out with as well. So really excited. Is there any other data that you see when talking with everybody that really is able to make the decisions better for the business?
Yeah, I think something we get a lot of, as we're doing some interviews with customers, people often ask about margin. So they want to be able to both on, like, gross revenue and also on margin. So they want to be able to report on what their average deal size is. So to get a good understanding of, like, how each deal is sold and what your average deal size is. And then for those deals, what's the profitability? What's your margin? What's your markup? And how can you improve that? So those are something that definitely people are looking to see and surface.
Yeah, it makes a big difference because maybe you're thinking that you're a little bit too light on that margin because you're hoping to get the job. But I can promise you, with the value propositions that you can give with a beautiful proposal, the time to quote and everything, you're going to be able to move that margin along and be able to see where the sweet spot is, which is really, really exciting. So, John,
the other one that comes up quite frequently is lost deals. So that's another reason, like, why it's important to actually collect data as part of your sales process. So not only do you want to indicate why you're winning deals, but also why you're losing deals. And then maybe that, like you said, sort of those chinks in the armor, it'll help you understand, oh, maybe I should be offering products that I don't sell today. Maybe my prices are a bit too high, and that's the reason why I'm losing a lot of deals. Maybe the timing isn't right for a lot of my clients, and so I need to focus my marketing efforts at different times during the year. So that's something also that we think is important, and it's also sort of speaks to that data collection side of things, is that not only do you want to indicate why you're losing things, or why you're winning things, but also why you're losing.
Yeah, you make the best decisions on the things that you don't do well, and those jobs that you missed, being able to fix those, you're going to be redoing the process with everything there. How are some of the ways that we're looking at building out a system that can collect jobs lost and everything?
Yeah, so it's going to be similar paradigm to if anybody's ever used Trello or Monday.com. So we're looking at a job board. Your jobs, you can just transition, you monitor the life cycle of your job in that job board. And then within that job board, you can drill down into, and I guess we'll get into this in a second, you can drill down into the details of that job, like the related documents like proposals, measurement reports, attachments, and also indicate notes about that job. So if you talk, make communication, if you do communications with the homeowner, you'll be able to record it there, and also indicate why you've won the job, why you've lost the job. So that's sort of how we're starting to think about capturing those details within Roofr. And I think it'll become more clear once we do the little demo here in a sec. Oh. Yeah. Do you hear me? Do you guys hear me still, or is just Nick frozen?
Yep, we can hear you, Nate. It looks like Nick's just frozen.
Okay.
We can fault Convention Center Wi-Fi for that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think part of what Nick's frozen. Oh, there he's back. Just give him 1 sec here. So Chris, good question. And if you guys have any questions, that's something that I'd love to use this time to do a little bit, is if you got any questions about what we're going to be offering or what you would like to see, especially after we do the demo here, super happy to hear it and get feedback. Like Nick mentioned at the start of the webinar, it's a beta that we're sort of sneak peeking right now. So it's going to be a pretty pared down version, like a not super, it's not going to have all the functionality that everybody wants to have off the get-go. And the beta will be you'll be able to test out the tool and give us feedback. And that feedback is going to be super critical to make sure we build software that works for you guys. So as soon as we show it, super happy to receive feedback. Your question, Chris, will you be able to send and receive emails through the CRM? The answer is 100% definitely yes. We want to do text. We want to do emails. But in the first version of it, we will not have text or email. But coming right down the pipe towards in the summer, we'll definitely be releasing the ability to send text and emails to your customers. And that applies to like both the active communication that you want to do with your customers for if you're just reaching out to them one-off, but also automated communication. So if you want to disposition your customer a certain way to put them in a drip campaign and automatically email them according to a schedule, that's something that you'll be able to do.
Yeah, what's really exciting is being able to like build those out in pieces and really kind of let the system work for you. For example, if somebody views your quote, right now in Roofr, you can see how many times in every time that they view, which allows you to kind of follow up with purpose rather than just following up for the sake of following up. Changes the way that they view you, right? Like you're not a salesperson anymore, you're a consultant. You're here for them, which makes a huge difference. But imagine adding in that automation piece, like Nate said, everyone. It really kind of opens up that ability to now follow up with them when they are ready to be following up. So if they viewed the quote, we could send out a text right away or an email right away, like, hey, saw that you opened the quote. Is there anything I can help clarify for you? And really kind of start that out so you can do more with less. And at the end of the day, if you want to grow your company, you got to be able to do more with less and utilize tech to kind of improve that process. So that is super exciting stuff right there. I'm just going to hit this button here, stop sharing, because I did not see it showing up. But I saw a question about, are we going to be at Win the Storm this year? This might answer it for you guys. I'm here now. So come to the booth. I would love to see you all and give you a real sneak peek at that CRM as well to kind of show you what else is there. Nate, anything else you want to add before we add in our nice little sneak peek of the product?
Well, like I mentioned, I think I said already, it's a beta. So what you'll see right now is a pretty slim version of ultimately where we want to go. So that's sort of just a little caveat. And then, like I said, looking for feedback from everybody too. We want to build software that works for you, like we always have at Roofr. And so super interested to hear your feedback, hear your what you want to see, what you want built. So that's about it. Yeah.
Yeah, the exciting thing is, like, I'll be super happy about this, but like nerdy about this as well. From starting out as a roofer, being able to build out tools that really can make a roofer's kind of system go, and having people like on our team that are not only roofers, but people like Nate who have been in this industry for a long time, like building out products and everything. We're going to really try to build out something that is meant for you. I don't want to say the for us, by us kind of model. It's overused, but really we want to hear from what you guys have to say and play around with it to build something in that's going to make it easy for everybody else to use. So excited to show off a little bit there and see what we got going on. So let me just try to
questions on that. Answer quick. On this, there's a few questions about Zapier. Will it integrate with Zapier? It will. To what extent, TBD, but it will integrate with Zapier. I think Richard answered the question about how much it's going to cost. Estimates will it be end-to-end inclusive of estimates through invoicing? Yes. So it's going to be, our vision is that it's a product you can use standalone to run your business. And so it'll be lead acquisition, sales cycle, production cycle, all the way through invoicing until the job's done.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think that's the main points. Sorry.
No, I was curious on the question on financing and invoicing. What are your thoughts on there, and where would it come from?
Yeah, so invoicing is something that we're going to offer based on, if you're a proposals user, you'll be able to create an invoice, send the invoice to your customer. You'll be able to collect payment. We'll offer a number of different solutions for financing. So a number of different providers, whether you use Service Finance or Mosaic or any other major provider in the industry, will be able to integrate with that financing provider and offer the financing solution directly through Roofr as part of our platform.
That's exciting. Sorry, I just had to hop in and out real quick to add the share, and let me know if everybody can see the screen.
Yep, we can see the screen, Nick.
Is it up there? Sweet. Awesome. So right off the bat, this is some of the sneak peek stuff that we'll be taking a look at. So we got a first look on our jobs board here, which is really exciting. So as you can see, we're going to be able to have things that kind of go through. We have a board view with this, and really kind of set like those, when I was mentioning at the beginning, the process, like setting up your process from end to end and having everything move across. And what's really cool is not only we'll be able to see how old the lead is, as you can see here, different time frames on them. We'll be able to see who it's assigned to on our team, but we'll also be able to see how the tasks are going and what is happening inside that actual file at quick glance. You'll also be able to see how much are these categories weighted across the board. So for here, I can see in this one, for example, this is a brand new lead that came in through our instant estimator. When I open it up, I can see the instant estimator suggested value. I can see the customer data, the job data, and I see that we haven't done anything else, but the lead details are going to be already in there. And this is going to really kind of give us a full insight on this. And if anybody's using the tool right now, You're going to see some of these modules have already been updated in our system for getting ready for everything. But as we go along throughout the process, not only are we going to be able to chat with our team directly on the side here so that we can have a conversation about everything, but we could also see the tasks that are coming through, the measurements, drafts, and attachments, which makes it a huge system here to kind of allow us to see from a quick glance exactly what's going on with that product. Right, Nate?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The key is that you have that view of your pipeline. Like Nick said, you can see exactly how much, where jobs are sitting and stuck in your pipeline at a glance. That's something that we've talked about a lot, is just being able to get after jobs quickly. We know we increase your close rate, so you'll be able to easily see where jobs are stuck and where you should focus, as well as collaborate with teammates on a job if you need to get something sold or some help selling a job.
And having everything nice and clean in one spot is going to streamline you guys so much faster too. Having those tasks there. And as you can see on the right-hand side, we can see when things have been reassigned, assigned. We can chat with everybody and see the status updates as we go along. What makes it easy too is this little toggle up here can bring me to every situation, where we can see where our integrations are, our projects like with Company Cam, our attachments, our proposals. We can even dig into what is going on with that proposal after it's sent without having to go into a completely different tab. This job board is going to be able to carry you the whole way through so that you can see what's going on and when it's going on. And then it's going to give you the next step so that nothing's missed. Those tasks are going to be able to really streamline that process for us and take us from end to end. And as you can see if it's been signed by multiple people or anything else.
Yeah, and something maybe worth speaking to is the automation side of things. So as you transition jobs through your board, you'll be able to create automation rules. We'll recommend some to you so that it's easy to set up and easy to work with. But as you transition jobs through various parts of your workflow, we'll have this automation feature where you can create specific tasks based on where the job is in your workflow, so that you make sure you're following up with customers when you should, taking the correct actions on the job when you should, and also automate components of the workflow you don't want to do yourself, following up with the customer via email, text messaging them, various other automations that we'll have. So that's something that we're pretty excited about, is really help you streamline your process with this automation feature.
Yeah, it's super exciting to kind of have the system be smart enough for you so that nothing is left through the cracks, and being able to kind of set up the stages that you want to set up so that you're kind of relying on the system rather than having the system rely on you. Too many times I talk to people and they're like, oh my God, like the CRM is so difficult. We got to make sure that everything's being done. Everything's there. Well, our system's going to be able to help you with that, with automations, the proper settings, and everything else there as well. Now, one of my favorite things, and one of the things I'm most excited about here, is that last part, which is that nice metrics dashboard, right, Nate?
That's right, yeah.
So we were talking about it. There's a lot of preamble to this. I just wanted to kind of set the stage on like where we are with everything, but you're going to be able to kind of start to look at everything from your company from a health standpoint, your proposals, your incident estimator, your team, and insights into everything that's going on with your company. So having the ability to see where your pipeline quantity is, as well as the health of the product as well. Nate, do you want to go over some of these colors and kind of the breakdown of everything?
Yeah. So this top section you see here is all about the health of your pipeline. So active stages. So at a glance, you should be able to see where are jobs stuck and where do you have a heavy pipeline or a light pipeline. So you can see in this case, in my proposal sent column, I got a lot of like high dollar value there. I should be following up with my jobs and proposal sent. I'm pretty light in new leads, so I know it's going to be a struggle for me to hit my goals this month because I don't have enough leads. So this sort of breaks down or is just at a glance should tell you where should I focus right away, where should I focus my efforts in terms of like my pipeline. Should I work on lead acquisition? Should I focus on closing deals that are in sent proposals? So that's that top section here, is just giving you that at a glance view. How healthy is my pipeline?
And then the pipeline quantity is really cool too, because you're going to see not just like a number value, but like the actual job value of where we are with each kind of situation, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it kind of gives you that breakdown. Like, is it, am I, even though maybe I have a small number of jobs worth a lot, I can sort of tell, do I have no jobs and or a few number of jobs that are worth a lot, or do I have many small jobs? It gives you that granularity.
Mm-hmm. Now we get to the overall performance, and as a sales guy, this is something I love. I'm going to start off with, this is one of my favorite things, how we can compare to different areas, different times and everything, be able to see what we need to export and what we need to really take a look at, so we can see how we're doing versus last year, or how we're doing to last month, like anything like that. Right, Nate?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is sort of that. If you're you're a sales manager, you're an owner, this is where you go in the morning and you get an idea of how you're tracking for the year, for the month, for the quarter, and really be able to understand where you should be focusing your efforts. So this is sort of that at a glance view.
Yeah, being able to see this and understand kind of where we are. Like if I had this when I was roofing, it would be a different game. But also like just seeing where the values are to the days of the month, the amounts, the drafts and everything, being able to really understand what my team is doing or what my company is doing and how I can fix it. So if I see like I have 27 drafts here, it's like, crap, I need to get on that. I need to make sure those are sent, that those aren't sitting, kind of see where things are going. And so far I got like a high win factor and kind of even on the sent and loss. So you can really make sure that you're on top of everything and you can see where your actual balances are. Now, this is the one thing I was talking about at the beginning, is the workflow at a glance. Like this is going to really be able to kind of use that data to improve your company. So seeing where things are from leads to average speed to lead to my close rate to my completed jobs that I've done, and also being able to see how long it's taking to complete that job. This is just such a powerful kind of glance through the workflow.
Mm-hmm.
The other cool thing is actually seeing your leaderboard. So for everybody here who has sales reps, which I know a lot of you guys do, it's really cool to see this. So I can tell you, on every sales environment I've been on, it's always been like a good kind of like camaraderie, like, hey, let's get everything moving, or hey, I want to catch that guy ahead of me. This way you're going to be able to see as your team, as a leader, to see, hey, I noticed that Steve is killing it. Like his close rate is super high. And his average job value is super high, and he's getting through everything here. But then I could look like conversely down to like Andrew, like at a quick glance, how do I get Andrew to that next level? Right? They could see that his revenue is kind of dipping, but he's also got the lowest close rate, but it seems that he has a pretty good average job value. So it can give you those insights to talk to your team and really kind of be able to say like, hey, where can we help out, and where can we elevate each other? Any thoughts on this leaderboard, Nate? That there's some things that are coming.
Yeah, there's a few. We know that this level of granular, like we want to get more granular with the leaderboard, and so this just gives you, like Nick said already, at a glance, how are my salespeople performing this month or for whatever time period? What's their close rate? What's the job value? But we know in the future we'll get a little bit more granular with these metrics, and you'll actually be able to have individual insights on each one of these salespeople, like how is Steve Jones, what's Steve Jones's speed to lead, for example, what's his appointment or new lead to appointment booked conversion rate. So you can really start to get an idea of like what's Steve Jones doing well that Andrew is not doing well, and so you can start to coach your salespeople, help them perform better. So that's something that'll come in the future, is sort of be able to drill down a little bit deeper into some of these metrics and get more granular into each salesperson. Exactly.
I'm so fascinated by whoever wrote Bobby Ricky, because this is fantastic. He hasn't learned that if you're first, you're last, because he's pretty much last right now. So this one's really, really cool that I've always loved. The fact that we would be a CRM with an actual instant estimator, being able to turn everything from the measurements and proposals. Like I said at the beginning of this call, we could actually see where our top lead sources are. and being able to see which ones are outperforming, who's outperforming, whether it's our website, our cold calls, our door-to-door, whatever the case is. And then also seeing the views, the clicks, and the new leads that are coming through there.
Mm-hmm.
What's the on the instant estimator overview of all my IEs combined? What, when we're looking at 21% click through, is that like the click through from the actual view number?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So if you've used the instant estimator, or if you're anybody on the chat there is an instant estimator user, you know, if you embed it on your website, some people will view it, they'll choose to go through the flow, and sometimes they won't. And so this sort of just gives you that breakdown of like how many people are actually seeing the instant estimator, how many are choosing to start it, and then how many are actually completing it so that you're getting a new lead here. And so you can see in this case, sort of 21% start it, and then 8% actually get a lead through towards the end of their funnel, and ultimately a new lead to pursue.
Which is really cool, because you're going to be able to see like, what am I doing with the instant estimator that's not working, or is there a spot that I'm marketing it that it's not working? And where I look at it from is that you're going to be able to start to see not only where your best lead source is over here, which is always important, but you can also start to say like, what's my ICP? What's my ideal customer profile? And where do I need to market it for them? Like that example I showed at the beginning, or I talked about at the beginning with the roofer that had the business card. I was just dropping it off at restaurants and with the QR code. He knows his ICP. His ICP is high-end homeowners, because he does high-end roofing. There's like Euro Shield and Real Slate and everything else. So nobody goes with that instant estimator QR code. He goes to high-end restaurants, so that his clientele that is clicking on that are the same people that he wants to kind of deal with. So being able to understand where your clients are going, what kind of sites they're going to, and being able to dial it in is going to really help you with this to kind of see where the click-through is and how to convert to the full new lead.
Definitely. Loving all the chat here. A lot of good ideas. So keep it coming. A lot of good.
Oh, yes.
And we'll try and get through all the questions and stuff as we go too.
Yeah, we've got just a couple more things, and then we'll turn it over to questions. One of my favorite things here too is the hotspots. Like I use that example with my dad's company, where it was always like Hill Street was like, or Hill Drive was like our hotspot. You can start to see where this is so all your door knockers or anybody who's marketing and stuff like that. Once you start to see hotspots, you can start to market around them, because not only does it help with like notoriety, where you can point to a house that you've done, but also the people talk. Reviews do come out through word of mouth, and we know that's our best lead source. So being able to really start to hyper target around these hotspots really can turn that lead and that conversion up to a lot. Is there any other thoughts on that you guys were looking at with this hotspots here, Nate?
Yeah, I think something we'll hope to do in the future is be able to filter out, like you'd mentioned, like where are your leads coming from? So be able to view this map, be able to filter where are my leads coming from, and then ultimately like where am I converting? And so in certain areas, you'll be able to say like, oh, right around in this neighborhood, I'm performing really well. I'm doing the same, this other neighborhood, I have a lot of leads coming in, but I'm not closing any of them. So you might be able to ask yourself, like, what's the difference between these two places? Maybe I should adjust my marketing efforts and focus on the areas that I convert really well in. Where do my ideal customers live? Maybe that other neighborhood isn't the type of customer I'm going after, or roofs don't have the products that I sell. So that's sort of where we're leaning in or thinking about heading here.
The insights that you can grab from this is just endless to help you run your business rather than just kind of maintain it, which is really exciting. And then Nate, you brought it up before, the lost jobs, being able to see kind of the reasons why you didn't get the job, so you can make adjustments right off the bat there.
Definitely. We talked through a few minutes ago about the importance of keeping your data like high quality and collecting high quality data. And this is one of those examples where it's super critical. You want to know why you're losing deals. And so if you're getting your salespeople to indicate, we don't offer that material, our price is higher, then you know how to adjust your sales process, or maybe look into selling different products in order to start closing those deals.
Yeah, it's the insight that you need. Like, of course, like at the top here, we want to see our wins and our cents and everything, but we really want to find out that data on the loss to kind of see where we can go for the future, especially like every slow season. I always say, Pete always says, there's no off season. There's only a slower season. Those are the times that you really got to work to find out what didn't work last year and how can I kind of adopt to it. Not just to say, hey, we crushed it last year. That's great. But where did you fall short? And this right here is going to be able to really help you find out that information. So let's just hop back in here. I'm going to stop sharing and we can go through some of the questions. Anybody in here that has some more questions that they're looking for, I'd be happy to help out.
Hey boys, we had a question. Yeah. Sorry, we had a question around integrations for photos. So Yev was asking, is there a photo gallery or is it only integrated with Company Cam?
Great question.
Yeah, so it'll be both. It'll be integrated with Company Cam, but you'll also have the ability to upload documents to jobs, and that includes photos. So you'll be able to store things like permits, work orders, photos, anything you need to store within the job.
Yeah, just right there, easy to grab and just have all the information before, after, all that stuff there.
I think John's question is a good opportunity to elaborate a bit more on that hotspot mapping. Can we dive into some more details around that, Nate?
Yeah, I think we touched on it a little bit. In essence, what we're hoping to accomplish there is to show you where you're successful and where you're not, like visually. And so on that map, we'll show you where your leads are coming from, where you're closing deals, where you're losing deals. And then ultimately, hopefully you can derive some insights from that map to say, oh, I should probably not focus on that neighborhood because I don't close deals there. Or I need to look at this area here. I never get any leads here, but I know lots of my competitors are. I should probably start marketing there, and also help you sort of refine your, like Nick mentioned, ideal customer profile. So what are the types of neighborhoods I want to advertise in? And am I actually getting leads from there?
Mm-hmm. The one of the questions that I saw that was quite interesting too is something that we didn't really touch on is production. Daniel asked, will there be material orders? So do you want to dive into a little bit about what production is going to look like?
Yeah, so it's going to be, the fact is for the beta, it's going to be light. It's going to be like we showed you already, those different job stages allowing you to create tasks associated with each job stage, which covers the production stages. We won't in the beta have material orders or work orders, but it's definitely something that we're going to add in the coming months. So as soon as it's something where we know we need to focus in the short term, but we won't have it after that.
Yeah, the production part is really exciting because that's where like everybody really focuses on that front end sale, and that's great because it's important. And we showed you a lot of that important data where you can make real time decisions. But those sales live and die on that production. You could sell 1 million jobs, but if you can't build them all, like it's going to have an issue. So the way that we're kind of looking at it internally with production is that it's an integral part, and we're making sure that we get everything kind of broken down piece by piece through everything there. John Robinson.
Yeah, I saw one about customizable job board. So the answer is yes. So it'll be customizable in the sense that you'll be able to add and remove the stages that are relevant to you. And we know in the future, that'll probably mean also giving you the ability to add custom stages. But in the first version, it'll be a set list of 20, and you can pick the ones that are relevant to you.
I got a question here from Yolamo. What's up, buddy? Nice to see you again. Yolamo was back in our marketplace days, which was great. So early on, he got to see everything. But work orders to assign contractors is a quick one for production. Will we be able to send out work orders to sub crews as well as material houses? Yeah,
so definitely something in the first version. Short answer, no. Definitely something we will add in the future. So we know a lot of, subcontracting is a huge component of a lot of people's workflow, and it's something that we need to support. It may mean going down the path of offering a crew app, but still need to get there in the coming months.
Amazing. Any other questions that stick out to you?
In terms of time, a few people asked about the timeline for the beta. So just to be clear about that, it'll be out in 4-ish weeks. So sort of 4 to 6 weeks. And then we'll probably be in beta for a month or two, or probably closer to 2 months. And so looking towards the summer for a more broad launch.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
And some of the questions on integrations. You're saying that there'll be a Zapier integration currently, but then moving into more stuff?
Yeah. So Zapier from the get-go, Company Cam from the get-go, and then QuickBooks we know is a deal breaker for a lot of people. And so that's something we'll get working as soon as we can. So towards the summer, we'll get that working.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Justin just gave a great question that I hear every single time is migration, data migration and everything.
Yeah. Great question. Something we're thinking a lot about. We will have the capability to import your data, and it's something we know that's critical for a lot of people. Is you need to be able to refer to warranty data, you need to be able to refer to your existing customer base, and so we will give you the ability to get data from whether it's Job Nimbus, AccuLynx, whoever, from those platforms and get them to Roofr.
Excellent. And then Andre, on the point of payments and everything too, Nate will have embedded payment collection and everything with that, is it with QuickBooks?
So we will have payment collection in towards the end of this year. Also available through QuickBooks, but don't quote me on that. That's another part of the software team that I'm not on.
I don't know if this is something that always blows me away, but I don't know how many people in the chat or watching right now has ever really thought about how to build something this big. And I get an amazing front row seat with these guys and just see how their day-to-day goes. It's like people like Nate have like a matrix of a mind where they see one thing and then they see all possible outcomes. It's fascinating.
Too much credit.
Yeah, just really good at solving problems, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd be the best board game player ever. And then Aram asked, will there be an app version as well?
Something we know can be, a long-standing request, and we intend to solve it I hope by the end of this year, but we'll definitely long-standing request we know we need to resolve at some point. No set timeline.
Yeah. We'll be working on kind of building out everything. John, one of those questions. So yes, Richard answered earlier that if you were to get a lead from one of your reps, you would have to manually assign them. Currently, if you assign a lead, or there will be, when they assign the lead, they will be notified by email, right? And then, right, Nate? And then maybe text if you reassign a lead.
Yes. So the question was lead assignment?
Yes. Like when you assign it to one of your reps, how are they notified so that they know to be on it quick?
Yeah, so that's something we're looking into resolving in the short term, is like all the notification, improving the way we notify you in Roofr generally. We know like on the lead acquisition side, you need to know when a lead comes in. So how do we send you text message? Do we send you emails? So that's something that we will resolve, not right in the beta, but in summer for sure. We'll notify you by text if a new lead comes in. And then the same is true on the sale, like a little farther down in the sales, like on the proposal side of things, is that if the customer views a proposal, you should know that they viewed it. You should have a nice email, a text message. If they sign it, same thing, you should know. So those are both things that we'll look to resolve very shortly. Excellent.
One thing, just a tip by everybody for the mobile app and stuff, just going back one conversation. The tool works super good on your mobile right now. So if you ever are interested, you can kind of go in right directly in here and it will open up directly. So you could always download it as an app currently. I know we're looking at a full app in a bit, but just wanted to give that information too.
We had a question coming on the back, boys, around, can you tie instant estimators to salespeople?
Yeah, currently you can. You can create as many instant estimator links as you want. So I know some of our best users have like John's door hangers or John's business cards. And so everything that comes in right now, actually currently, you can see when you open up any of the leads, you'll see where the source came from. So if you see it coming in from John's door hangers, you know that it was generated by John and assign it to John right away. So that's something that could be there. Auto assigning, I know that Nate talked about, would be further down the line, but you can at least currently see and create instant estimator links for different landing pages, different door hangers, different business cards, different everything, so that you can start to see where everything else is. Calendar functionality. Nate.
Yeah, that's something we didn't touch on. And definitely a few people asked that question, like, will you be able to schedule appointments? Will you be able to schedule crews and production? Yeah. So that's something, again, towards the summer, not in the first release of this, but in the summer, you'll be able to schedule your appointments with customers, be able to schedule sales reps to specific appointments with customers, and obviously schedule everything on the production side also.
Nice. Yeah, I think Pete would jump out a window if we didn't touch on calendars. That's his most favorite thing. So we got to give him credit. Like, he's not here, so we got to help out. But yeah, the calendar functionality. If any, like, you know that Nate's on it, everyone, but I promise you, Pete is on that.
Pete is on it, definitely. He's your number one.
His middle name is Calendar. So
Great question from Justin. I like that idea. Yeah. We thought about that for sure. Like book the appointment directly in your calendar. You don't need, like, you've got the slot. You don't need to do anything. The customer books the appointment. Everything's set up. Totally agree. And we see that option.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. And being able to kind of streamline that even more. Like, the whole system is about streamlining. Now you can streamline an actual appointment there. So, but I think we're running out of time here. We got about 4 minutes left. But I'll just kind of quickly start the wrap up here. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Thank you for taking a look at it and your interest in all these suggestions. They're fantastic. We do have Gustavo, do you have the link for the beta sign up available that we could drop in the chat? But you could also, at the top there, we can see that you can get a meeting booked in with us. If anybody is down in Fort Lauderdale going to win the storm, come see us. We'll be the big Roofr Blue booth, and happy to chat and show you a little bit more and answer any questions. And really excited to get you guys going on it. But Nate, anything that you want to add?
No. Super. Aside from the fact that, like Nick said, we are super excited for what's coming up in 2023. Excited to grow with you guys, and obviously really looking forward to, if you're a beta user, receiving your feedback, you telling us what you like, what you don't like, what you need that we don't have. Really excited to hear all the feedback.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, everybody, for joining. It's a pleasure as always, and we'll see you on the next time.
Thanks, Nick.
See you guys. Thanks, Nate.
Then there was one.